Very happy to be here. I'm a CPA here in Atlanta. I'm retired from the Internal Revenue Service. I worked there just about 44 years and retired about 7 years ago. So I do tax returns and private practice here in Atlanta. Number one, when it comes to tax returns, farming income and expenses are no different than the income and expenses, say, from a Schedule C sole proprietorship, a Schedule E rental property, or even a corporation. You have income, then you have expenses, you have net income and net loss, and you pay tax on the net income. So some of those deductions are the same. But my general advice is, if you're doing the tax return yourself, use tax prep software. This is just general information. I mean, tax laws are so complicated now. You could do it by hand, but why would you want to? So buy some quality tax prep software to walk you through it, such as H&R Block or TurboTax. And once you click on the screen that says you're a farmer, then the software will lead you through the correct deductions, assuming you put in the correct amounts or the correct circumstances. It'll compute all those taxes for you. So my first piece of advice is buy some software and do it. And that way you won't miss any deductions or anything that I glance over. It'll cover it for you. Next item of just free advice is if you're farming and you own 30, 40, 400 acres or whatever, you specialize in farming. You specialize in livestock, animals, farming, all that. You do not have to be a CPA in order to get these deductions. You just need to know a good professional. So if you're not going to do it yourself, find someone that's competent and knows a lot about farming issues. And then my last piece of advice is, I'm just going to go over some key terms because we don't have the time to do an in-depth discussion, but go ahead and write down those terms and then you can research it later on. www.irs.gov is your best friend. You can just about find anything you want on irs.gov. It's just like any other business, any other like Schedule C, Schedule E, corporation. You have two types of deductions when you farm. First you have income, and just about everything is income unless it's specifically excluded, and there are a few exclusions, so all the money you get is income basically. And then there's two types of deductions. There's current cost and there's capitalized costs. Current costs are the costs that you deduct in the year that you incur them, and then capitalized costs relate to that equipment or those buildings that you buy that will last over a period of time, and you deduct a portion of that in future years. So when it comes to current expenses, everything, and I do mean everything associated with the farm, is deductible. If you have equipment, farm equipment, everybody does. No one uses draft horses or the Percherons or the Belgian drafts anymore. Everyone has tractors. If you buy diesel fuel or if you buy gasoline and you pay that 38 cents a gallon excise tax, that road tax, and you're using that diesel on the farm, strictly for the farm, then you should talk to your tax preparer and get a refund of that amount.
What if you are multiple years behind on filing taxes for your farm? What would be your recommendation on how to get out of that hole? What are the penalties associated with such?
Go get that last letter you got from the IRS. They've written you about once every 45 days. Don't shake your head. They did. I know. It comes out in 45-day cycles. Get that last letter. Respond to that letter. The worst thing you can do, the absolute positively worst thing you can do is when you get a letter from the IRS inquiring about your tax position, is to not respond. The worst thing you can do, I'm sure nobody on this phone has done it, on this line has done it. The worst thing you can do is put that letter on the dresser and just stack them up there every 45 days and don't open them, because bad things will happen a couple of years down the road. And if you have the ability to prepare those returns and file them, go ahead and do them.
Make sure you join the Rainbow Push Coalition, because we are a membership-based organization, and the only way that we can keep presenting you with this information that no other group is pushing out there. There aren't really other groups that are having calls and webinars of this nature, specifically targeting Black farmers, providing sort of financial information that's needed to keep us all going and sustained during this period of time. Go to rainbowpushatlanta.org. Make sure you get your membership, and also our Southeastern Regional Conference are creating Trading Opportunity Conference will be on October 8th and 9th of this year. So it's coming up in a little less than a month. If you would like more information on that, email our program coordinator, Ms. Trina Heathington at theheathington at rainbowpush.org, or email me, rpatillo at rainbowpush.org, and we'll be sure that we can get you involved for those upcoming events.